All right, folks, thinking caps on because I have a riddle for you today. I don't cost a thing, but I am worth a lot. And there is no shortage of me out there. What am I? If you guessed praise, positive feedback, you are right. Now, you would think based on that riddle that this would be something we're just giving all the time, and yet we're not. In fact, research tells us that 3/4 of employees do not receive some sort of positive recognition every week, so less than once per week. And even worse, approximately 1/3 of employees wait around 3 months to receive any sort of praise from their manager. This is an issue, and one of the biggest reasons that folks are leaving jobs is because of feelings of underappreciation. We can do something about this. And so what should you do? Well, the research also tells us that aiming for a ratio of approximately 5 pieces of positive feedback of praise for every 1 piece of constructive feedback is the golden ratio to aim for. That's what they see on high performing teams, 5-1. I want you to think of it like a bank account, right? Every time you give some positive, genuine feedback, you're putting a deposit into the account. And then when you need to go and make a withdrawal, guess what? You have funds available. Okay, so 5-1 ratio. And don't just start going out and giving general praise now every day. Hey, great job today, Tim. No, I want you to be specific. The praise will only feel meaningful if it is specific, and it will only give us the performance benefits that we want out of it if it's specific. I love the saying, what gets recognized gets repeated. Our employees can only repeat what we want them to repeat if they actually understand what we're recognizing, if we're specific enough for them to know what they did well. Okay, so it could sound something like, hey, Tim, that presentation you gave today, your slides, the slide design, that was on point, well done, versus great presentation today. Or, Sarah, that email that you sent to the client, the way you opened it with some comments to really invite them in and then laid out all the details and bullets, that wording was perfect. You see how we can get really specific? I'll illustrate this a little bit further with a personal example. This will likely push us over the 2-minute mark in this 2-minute tip, but stay with me if you want the personal example. So many years ago, early in our marriage, I believe it was an anniversary, I was with my husband, obviously, on our anniversary, and I was sharing with him some of the specific things that I loved about him, specific things that I valued in him. And then, of course, after I shared my list, I passed the ball to him. And I said, well, honey, what is it that you love about me? And he paused and he said, well, I love that you love me. And I waited to hear more, but that was it. And we busted up laughing. It was one of those brain freeze moments. And honestly, we still laugh about it today. Obviously, that was not quite the recognition I was looking to hear. Now, fast forward years later, in fact, to just this last week, I was having a rough evening and I was cooking dinner in the kitchen. He could sense that I was having a rough evening, and he and the girls were sitting in there. And he said, hey, Harper, our 5-year-old, Harper, what's one thing that you really love about mom? And Harper said, well, I love how mom takes care of us. Maybe a little vague, but for a 5-year-old, she knocked it out of the park. And then he asked Kennedy, our 9-year-old, and she shared something a little more specific. And then he shared something that was very specific. He articulated something that I had never actually heard him articulate about me, and it was really meaningful. So you can see the value in getting specific and the value in doing this often. What gets recognized gets repeated. It's free. There is no shortage of praise out there. It has great impact. So please up your ratio to at least 5-1.